Get on the Bridge of Spirits. Jeez, I don't know what the heck was going on with my throat there. Alright, so we're going to be defeating a boss in this video, and I forgot what the name of that boss was, but once we freed the final vine of the area, and that's what we did in the last video, we're going to head on over back to where the bull is, but we're going to do a couple of things first. Or maybe not go, we're probably not going to the bull. I think we're actually going to go up the hill a little bit. And we're going to do a couple of things first on the way. So there's this big giant house here, and I think we can get in if we come from the top, if I haven't done it already, that is. And let's see, looks like there is something blocking the door there, yep, so we need to get inside, and then we can use the rot to clear that. And then we can walk up this staircase, and there's going to be a chest. So it'll be a challenge chest, it's optional, you don't have to do it. And there's also a spirit tier location there, so I don't know if we get that from the chest or not, I guess we'll find out. But anyway, we have to defeat 8 enemies. It's not timed or anything, we just have to defeat 8 enemies. And the first 7 or so are pretty easy. And near the last 2 or 3 as they spawn, one of the tougher enemies is going to spawn, and he's going to be a little bit more challenging, but by now you should be pretty used to dealing with them. Of course, you are still going to get Dark Souls hit by some of these attacks pretty often. And use your bow, it's a really nice tool to keep enemies at bay and do a lot of damage to them a little bit more consistently than you can on melee, it feels like. Although you do have to wait for your dumb arrows to respawn. So here's this guy, he was once a boss, now he's a regular enemy. He's just got the dual wield wooden sword, so he's not as difficult as the giant guy with the giant wooden sword. But he still has those Dark Souls, I'm gonna slide across the map moves, and I'm gonna make sure that I hit you anyway. You have to dodge me no matter what. And we can use arrows, we can use our bombs now, and we can try not to get beat by the environment, because I am definitely getting beat by the environment, and I didn't know that when he charged me like that, that hurt me. So I'm actually kind of on the edge here, but I think I might charge up and do a couple of heavy attacks soon. I can't really remember. We're going to distract him with some rot, but that's not really super useful because then he'll just hit you anyway. I don't know. It feels like this game is fighting you the whole time, and some of the upgrades you're getting don't feel like they do a whole lot, you know. So I don't use any of the heavy attacks. I probably should have. I think I made that harder on me than it needed to be, as usual. But we defeated him. So we're going to grab this chest, and then we're going to head up the staircase to our left now. And then we're going to go talk to our friend. And continue on after that little cutscene.
Ah, you made it. The path is blocked, but I'm sure Rufus can help.
Alright, the path is cleared, and now we can head on up the mountain, and I'm actually going to look like I know what I'm doing for once, because, believe it or not, it's really easy to believe, the main bulk of this game is actually my first time playthrough, and I'm trying my best to cut out all the dead spots where I get stuck or I'm just wandering around looking for collectibles, you know. So this time I actually look like I know what I'm doing, and there's going to be a meditation circle right here. Oh, not circle, it's gonna be a rot, but we need to activate our spirit power and then shoot those little plants as they come up in the sky, and there's going to be 5 or 6 of them, maybe a little bit more. That's the 6th one, 7... and looks like that's it. So there we go, now we get some rots. But anyway, as I was saying, I actually had to repeat this part because the game hard locked on me, and when I reloaded it, like after I defeated the boss that's coming up, and when I reloaded it, my last save was at the bottom of this mountain. So I had to do this twice, and it's actually better because it took me quite a bit longer to do it the first time. And we're just gonna slide down that mountain and then go into the cave here. And inside of the cave on the left, there's going to be some crates, and we can move that one with the rot, or we can activate it anyway. Yeah, we can move it with the rot, and I think there'll be another one underneath there, so we'll want to grab him. And then we can continue in through the cave. So I guess kind of in like my better walkthrough creation days, I used to play through the game once, and then I'd replay it again, and that would be my walkthrough recording. But it's just kind of harder to do that today because I have way more things that I have to do now than I did many years ago, you know, so it's just a little bit more time consuming to do it the better way. So now the lazy way is just to record the first playthrough and cut out the dead stuff, and that still takes up some time, but it's a lot less time than replaying the game twice. But it is funny because when you beat a game the first time, especially one like this one, I think it took me about 6 hours to beat it the first time. If I were to play this game through again, I would suspect it'd take me probably 4 or even 3. There's really not that much to the game once you learn the puzzles. That's where most of my time was spent, where it was on these kinds of puzzles and just getting lost. And when you replay it so quickly, you know, you remember everything, so it doesn't take too long to get through it again. But that's not really what's happening here. It's still a pretty lengthy game for the price, 40 bucks, you know, that's absolutely acceptable. And there's a lot more to do in it than I'm showing in the videos, so if you like how the game looks, be sure to buy it, be sure to play through it. It is a great game, and have been many updates since I've finished it, so hopefully the performance issues I was complaining about earlier are a little bit alleviated since then. Anyway, we're just going to use the bomb to work our way up this mountain even further, and then we're going to be heading to the Stone Guardian boss. That is the one we are facing in this video, and I think he might be somewhat like a maybe easy, maybe hard boss. I can definitely feel like some people might struggle on him, but I've defeated him twice on my first attempt both times now, so that's kind of nice. Jeez, excuse me. And this one is a little bit tricky. We're going to need to blow up both of these rocks and then jump onto the left platform so we can shoot that crystal so this one gets oriented correctly. And when we walk up here, we can see the Stone Guardian is going to start. There are 3, I think, health plants around us. And other than that, this guy is going to be encased in a whole bunch of rock, and we have to blow it up. So the only real way to do that is to actually hit his little crystals, and that's going to be one of the most consistent ways to damage this guy. But as you saw there, that still didn't do that much damage, so we do have to work at this guy a little bit. He is going to chuck things at you, he's going to charge you, he's going to swing at you if you get too close to him, he's going to vine you, he's going to do a lot to you. Right there, he's going to jump at you. But for the most part, I found his attacks pretty easy to dodge compared to other bosses. And to get those little crystals to show up, you have to throw a bomb on him and then blow up the bomb. And if you have the slow-mo ability like I've got when you're in the air, then that can help a little bit. The other problem is also just these stupid little sprout enemies, or whatever they're called, and they are a little annoying because you're going to be focused on the boss, and there's always going to be 2 or 3 of these guys, and they're always going to be jumping at you, and you're not always going to see them. So I found the little enemies a little bit worse than dealing with the boss himself, and there's only so many of those little crystals on him that we can destroy. So after a while, we're going to have to start damaging him just normally. We can pelt him with arrows forever, or we can get up close and try to attack him, but he'll do that shockwave attack, and then I'll get hit by this enemy I never saw. Then eventually he's going to slam the ground and try to get a whole bunch of sprouts spawning, and they're going to make those little fire waves come out from them, but he's also going to be way more vulnerable to the rot. So you're going to want to send your rot on him, and that'll do massive amounts of damage. But being the way Kenna is, it's not really going to be a lot of damage. So it's going to help a lot, but not like a lot. And what I really should have done, instead of throwing my rot on him there, was done the supercharged heavy attack, and that's just something that I get a little bit better at as the game goes on. But for now, we whittle him down and finally defeat him.
found my tools. Just where I left them. They should come in handy.